Modern-day heroes aren't found on monuments or even in history books. They're quietly working in the background, imbibed with a deep sense of nationalism and a commitment to the upliftment of Filipinos everywhere. It's about time then that we pay tribute to the unsung heroes who continue to devote their lives to public service. A new book out now, Profiles Encourage, aims to do just that and inspire young Filipinos worldwide to follow in the footsteps of ordinary Filipinos who are making an extraordinary difference. Joining us today to talk about the book Profiles Encourage are three of the book's writers, Quintin Pastrana, Marco Rodriguez, and Eddie Cian. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Profiles Encourage. Obviously a play on John F. Kennedy's book, Profiles Encourage, which won a Pulitzer Prize. I know who the Kennedy fan is here. But are you guys were also inspired by Kennedy, or is this something that you know, you just felt that these people themselves needed to be given some kind of recognition?
Well, yeah, actually, as the book says, it's about ordinary Filipinos making an extraordinary difference. And when we look around us, there are a lot of heroes in our midst, and a lot of these people are unsung. So, you know, in one way or another, this is just our way of paying tribute to them and bringing their story out and hoping that people pick up and learn from their example.
Where did you get the idea to do this?
It's all these conversations that we've had. I met Quintin in Washington, D.C. In conversations in cafes. It's conversations that people have online and emails and all that. And I think it just came together. And hopefully it becomes a tipping point for other Filipinos to think about what they can do.
Conversations about what? I mean, you and I have had email exchanges in the past.
Absolutely.
And we talk about all kinds of issues, but conversations about what? I mean, there's so many things that people can talk about. Not everything leads them to do something like this. You guys were obviously inspired by those conversations to make the extra effort to come up with a book. I mean, it's not easy to put together. I think it took you guys quite a while to actually get everything together.
I think it was about a year and a half. And I think, well, first of all, most of the authors didn't even know each other prior to the book, getting this book together. And we had to ask that central question: what is heroism? What is leadership? What is being a Filipino? I mean, it took a while for us to get that. And being in temporary exile in graduate school or working abroad, you tend to ask yourself, what can we do when all this bad news is happening, all these things are happening, we're not so happy with our leaders. I think what the issue for us was, these heroes are actually ours, like Marco said. I mean, and I think the one who really pointed out to me is the person we dedicate this book to, Senator Raul Roco, the late Senator Raul Roco, who in all his speeches, he used to dedicate the end of his speech to an ordinary Filipino who was making a difference, whether it be the taxi driver who found 2 million pesos at the back of his car, Mr. Advincula, who brought it to the owner and didn't even leave his name. We thought that there should be more stories like that out with the public, and so they could emulate them and see that despite all the challenges we have, we still cast our hats into the ring and do the best we can.
So this is a reaction to the growing sense of discouragement that I guess people feel, and this is a direct sort of assault on the cynicism and negativism that you feel is out there now?
We think so, and it's also more personal to us because we were actually changed by writing this book. I mean, by understanding these stories, getting to know the people behind them, you really see tangible, palpable hope. And Eddie, I think you want to add to that?
No, absolutely. We're not saying that we should overlook all the problems that we have. We definitely we have a lot of problems in this country, but it's also important to note these, these excellent examples of people who've done a lot with so limited resources.
Tell me a little bit about the criteria for choosing these people. I mean, many of the people here are, as you've mentioned, unknown to the general public. There are a few people who are familiar names. Neric Acosta, former congressman from Bukidnon, is mentioned here. Milwida Guevara, who everybody knows, former undersecretary of finance, who now runs an NGO that helps development, really goes down and helps development efforts. But many of the people are, as you said, people we don't know. How did you end up choosing these people?
Well, let me start, and then Eddie and Mark can build it. We had 3 basic criteria. One was meaningful results. The other one's concrete action. And the final, the one, and I think the more important one, is enduring integrity. This is not a one-shot deal, something that happens over a year. This is a lifetime of programs, acts of kindness, and things you can measure. And unfortunately, people don't see that around this. So let me give you an example. You mentioned Nena Guevara. Nena Guevara was a finance undersecretary. her record speaks for itself. Tax to GDP ratio is 17%.
Yeah.
Highest it's ever been in the country on
Mhm.
record. Then she went to the IMF and worked in Kyrgyzstan and reformed their tax system.
Mhm.
Now she's in the Philippines leading 250 local governments, improving test scores across the board from 49% illiteracy to 75% literacy in math, science, and English. That's concrete results. We don't see that often, and we want to definitely show that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we wanted to get a wide spectrum and not just be limited in a particular sector.
Yeah.
So it was good to have people, sports, artists,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, like we chose a cross section of people from various fields, and you know, I mean, these people actually went on with their lives and accomplished what they did with no thought of fame, you know,